What happened at the start?
Just like for us, like, you know, the last 2 days, the word that's been on our whiteboard and what we've talked about in huddles and everything else is just urgency. And we just didn't have it. We just didn't bring it. And, you know, I talked to our guys in the locker room about, you know, we're in new territory, right? Like, you know, last year's team, there might have been times like, you know, like Carolina, a couple other places where we just got blown out. Right? We're like less talented than other people, but we continue to fight, we continue to scratch, and we continue to claw. But this was the first time I haven't seen this group have that same fight at the start. We had it late. I'm proud of the guys that, you know, different guys stepped up and played hard in the second half. But we didn't play with any sense of urgency, right? And that's, you know, that's on me for not getting them ready. Like, we have to, you know, we got 5 guaranteed games left. And, like, you know, you're not guaranteed tomorrow, let alone, like, what happens in March sometime. Like, so, like, don't take anything for granted. Like, and that's, you know, for me, that's the most disappointing thing, that, like, we can get beat. People can out-execute us. People can out-talent us. They can do a lot of things, but they should never out-effort us.
You've said the last couple of times, it's on you, it's on you, it's on you. At some point, do you just turn to them and say, it has to be on you guys too? Like, you've got to deliver there in the first half. You've got to care, and you got to show up in the first half.
We're all in this together. We win together, we lose together. And that's, you know, a big part of it. They're taking their cues from me. So, like, maybe I need to change what we're doing in practice. Maybe I need to change what we're doing in shoot around or whatever it is. But, like, we can't come out like this. We can't come out like this, right? So, like, you know, like I said, it's new territory. So, you know, I need to figure out what it is, why it is that we started this way. Because we haven't done this. We've been in games. We've played well. We've started well. We may not score the ball. Like, maybe somebody's gotten, you know, we haven't gotten stops, but it's like 8-6, you know, 6-4. Like, we've been in it. And right from the start, just didn't have that look in our eyes.
Not starting Marcus in the second half, was there any specific reason for that?
I was, you know, you get to that point right there in that game, in this game, like, you're just you're just throwing stuff at the wall and see what sticks, right? And I thought, you know, the 5 guys that we started, I thought they did a pretty good job in the first half. So now, like, let's keep rolling with that group. Maybe they weren't in together, but at different times, and maybe they can spur us to something, right? You're just hoping for some kind of juice and some kind of energy. I thought maybe those 5 guys could provide it.
Micah, that scratch and claw identity that you guys had last year, why do you feel like this team has kind of gone away from that as of late?
I don't know. Maybe we, you know, confidence is a crazy thing, right? Like, maybe we believe in ourselves too much. Because, like, last year's team knew that if we didn't scrap, if we didn't claw, if we didn't hold people to 50 points, and we had 0 chance. And, yeah, I've done a poor job defensively with this group from the start, that, you know, we don't have that same grittiness and toughness and identity, right? But those are things that you go back and you think about this season, and things that we didn't do in the fall, in the preseason, that we normally do that we didn't, that probably build a little bit more toughness. They probably build a little bit more resolve, right? But you also, you play in the summer, you play extra games, you practice extra time. You're kind of worried about the fatigue factor, so you cut some things out. But like, some of that was our identity, right? Now I'm coming back to find out some of the things we were doing was our identity. Some of that was our resolve. Some of that was our toughness. We're doing tough things together. So now when you get in the game, you continue to do that, right? So that's what I said. Like, this is, it falls on me, right? But it also, like, it'll never happen again. I can tell you that much, right? And we have 5 games left. And people might beat us. They might beat us. But there won't be a one where we're not competing, right? Because, like, I'm just going to play those dudes that are. Right? Because that like, I got a chance to, Fonz was in there. And afterwards, I told him, I said, all your guys that you talk to, all these former guys that reached out to me in the last couple of days, like, that's a slap in their face. Like, that ain't Notre Dame basketball. That ain't what we're doing now and what we have now is, it all comes from what they did. And for us to not compete is a slap in their face, right? And so I apologize to those guys that put in blood, sweat, and tears for this program, right? The fans that are still out there fighting for us, man. And like, I apologize to them, because that's not Notre Dame basketball. And that's why I said this is rock bottom, because it ain't gonna be like this anymore. I need 5 guys in all my timeouts. That's it.
It's hard to instill it with 5 games left, but how do you kind of mitigate when you're getting doubled up points in the paint and a team is hitting the glass on you guys like that? How do you, because you can't run them to death here, but how do you kind of handle that in the next 5 games?
That was, like, I got the stat sheet at halftime and after the game. And like, sometimes you think about game plans on offense and defense. It's like, what could we have done better here? What could we have done better there? Like, this stat sheet doesn't mean anything to me, because we didn't do the things that would allow this to matter. If we had played our tails off and they had doubled us up on the glass, I'd be like, uh-oh. Like, SMU's either a bad matchup or we got an issue. But, like, we haven't been that group on the glass. I know Big Fella, he's huge, man. He's a monster. But, like, we haven't been that on the glass. And, that's why I'm like, this stat sheet doesn't mean anything, right? Like, our effort. It's about, you don't even know if a game plan works. Like, what good is this film gonna do? Like, 0. If we play SMU again, you can't go back and watch this game, right? Sometimes it's about going back and doing things harder and doing it better to see if a game plan works, and then you can change it. We didn't do it harder or better. So I have no idea, right? I apologize to Coach Fairley for taking so much time to scout these guys and watch all that film. Just because, I got to get these guys ready to go, man. I got to get us to play with more urgency. Because SMU is, right? They're trying to get in the tournament. They're not going to come in there. They're not going to walk in here and just be chilling. Like, they're trying to make it, right? They're scrapping and clawing too. And we should be scrapping and clawing for Notre Dame.
Micah, when that effort isn't there, is there a player you expect to be able to give the team a spark, and that's just not happening lately?
No, I mean, like, you're just trying different things, right? We didn't, you go into a game thinking about some different stuff, right? I wanted to play more shooting, right? I wanted to play play Cole and Braeden together early to try and space the floor for Marcus and Tay. All right, but then you got to scrap everything when it's like, we're not quite here yet. So now it's like, all right, let's throw that out the window. We got to get to something else to give us a fire, to give us a fight. But I know that there's guys, man, like it's the end, man. The clock is ticking. Like Malaco's emotional in the timeouts because he's playing through injury because he wanted to come back and fight for these guys, right? Like, Roper and JR and how they're fighting, they're trying, they're giving everything they got. Like, even Nikita with the fouls, like just trying to battle and give everything you got, because, Rick Pitino said it the other day, like, you flip that hourglass over, man, it's almost running out. It's almost running out on some people's careers, right? If I'm a freshman, I'm a sophomore, whatever, I'm not thinking about the end. I'm thinking about this season, I got next year, I got this and that, but these guys might not have another practice. They might not have another game. And you got to give everything you got for those guys. You got to think outside of yourself and think about those guys, right? And because as their seasons end, their careers end, it means you're one step closer to yours doing the same exact thing. So don't leave anything to chance. Don't say man, I got next year, I can do this and that. Not guaranteed next year. Not guaranteed anything, right? And give everything you have for those guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
What happened in the first half?
Didn't come out ready to go, just playing lazy, weren't playing tough, weren't competing. Just everything wasn't going the right way for us. That's on us.
When it starts out bad, when it's 6-0, 8-0, how tough is it to not let it landslide the way you do it? And all of a sudden it's 25-5.
I mean, I feel like it's different for us today because usually we've been down in a lot of games and we've came back, just not just this year but last year, and when we let it keep continuing, that's where it's like we gotta stop it.
How much is it just a confidence thing with everything you guys have been going through lately, and it just seems to be getting worse instead of getting better?
I guess confidence definitely comes into it, but I wouldn't say it's getting worse. I feel like we're just gonna continue growing and keep getting better every single day, every single game, and just keep working. So.
Braeden, why did you feel like the effort wasn't where it needed to be tonight?
I don't know, honestly.
What's kind of the message from leaders or from you guys? You had a really hot start. What's kind of the message to try to get something going? I mean, even when looking back, it didn't work. What is your message trying to get the team back into it when you look up and it's 32-9 or a score like that in a game you expect to compete?
I mean, all you can really say is just, do you want to win or not? Or just trying to just keep competing and stuff. And really, I just want to apologize to all the former players and all the fans that are staying with us in our corner, and that's on us. This shit will never happen again. So I'm sorry about that.
Sir, what are the emotions? I mean, you've made your first career starts in this last stretch, and the games haven't always gone your guys' way. What's it been like having that increased role in these games?
Honestly, we want to be on the court, but we need to figure out ways to win. So it's been great playing, but it doesn't really matter if we're not getting the end result as a team. So we just gotta put it all together, and hopefully I can keep getting better and try to help these guys out a little bit more. But I don't care that I'm starting now. It's just we need to get some wins. So, yeah.
One more.